Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about blush, which is so fun and so collectible, but it's also one of the most oversaturated products of makeup. If I go on Sephora or Ulta and see a new blush launch, am I surprised? Not at all. But what's fun about collecting blush is having colors that work for you, and what sucks is having a collection that just you keep maybe buying these new releases, or you have a lot of shades that maybe look good on one person or the swatch look good online, and then you got it and put it on your face and you're like, why does this look orange? Why is it not flattering? Why is it just like not hitting right, if you know what I'm saying? This is going to be my ultimate guide for blushes, some hidden gems here, maybe some brands you haven't heard of that are really my favorite for my skin tone, which is pale olive skin, and I really do enjoy cool toned makeup. So if you have similar makeup interests to me, I think you're going to find this video very helpful, and let's just go ahead and get started. As always, all of these products will be linked below. I have a variety of formulas and prices, so little something for everybody here. Let's go ahead and start with our powder options. I want to go ahead and sort of get the predictable ones out of the way almost. You'll see when I mention these. If you've seen any of my content before, you know I love the RMS Beauty blushes, so of course I just want to quickly mention them. Bermuda Rose I think is my personal favorite shade. It's a cool toned glowy blush. You know I love this formula. It's so beautiful. If you don't know about it, it's just the perfect glowy blush without looking glittery. They have a lot of great shades. I have a full separate swatch video of these blushes, so check that out if you're looking for different shades, but this one I would say is my favorite out of them all. And of course, they do always have that 20% off discount code, so you don't have to pay full price for these, in the description as always. And then another one I do mention quite a lot are the FLORASIS blushes, specifically Candy Clouds. I talk about a lot of the time. It's this beautiful pale pink. If you have pale skin, like, I feel like I don't say you need things a lot, right? Not a lot of us need more makeup, but like this is something that you need, right? It's just so different and so pale and so brightening. Like you can put it almost like right under the eyes. It just gives an effect like no other blush. It does have a little bit of shimmer in there. Again, one you've probably heard me talking about, so I want to be kind of brief with it, but it's so beautiful. This is a C Beauty company, by the way. Also really like Coral Whisper, which is not really coral. It's sort of like this mauvey pink with a little bit of shimmer in it, with pink shimmer. If you want something a little bit more like toned down, not as bright, these go together beautifully. So these are silky and very blendable type of just like melt in the skin formulas, which I really love. So Candy Clouds, you can barely see the swatch because it is so light and pastel. And then we have the Coral Whisper, which has a little bit more pink to it. These really don't show up very nicely on camera, like on my hand, but on the face, trust me, they're so good. Now let's pop over to a drugstore option. This formula actually kind of reminds me of the FLORASIS ones. It's the Flower Beauty Flower Pots Powdered Blush, and this is the shade Sweet Pea. It's a soft satin finish, has a really similar like feel to those. It's really, really silky. And the shade Sweet Pea is just like a gorgeous mid-tone. Like, see how I'm swatching it? It kind of performed like these, where it doesn't really show up that well on my hand because it gives you this blurred, really soft effect, which is just ideal for pale skin. And it does have this cool pink undertone that doesn't really pull purple or like too bright. Very, very natural, like pinky mauve. See if I can build it up just a little bit more for you. Yeah, it just gives you like the prettiest flush, and these are such a classic blush in my opinion. If you're like at Ulta at the drugstore and you need something just like quickly or in this price range, this is a really good one. If you love a shimmery pink blush, the Fenty Beauty, this is their Suede powder blush in Wattabrat. These are actually waterproof. Another blush that I have a full like try on swatch video for. This is like, the texture of this is like a cream. Like, it's so silky. If you feel it, like, you'll just understand that it's like, it's so hard to describe, but like it doesn't really feel like anything. Like, it doesn't have that powderiness to it, and that really transfers to the face super beautifully as well. So like I mentioned, this has a ton of like silver shimmer in it. It's like a blush light, so you have to like shimmer to like this one. They do have some other good shades, but these are just like classic high performance pigmented beautiful blush. If you get this, I don't think you're going to be disappointed in the formula. It's just such a hit from Fenty Beauty, and I do find this baby pink shade so unique. It has so much silver shimmer and it's definitely a really fun blush. Next, this is a new blush to me, the Jones Road The Best blush in the shade Pop. This is just a classic, like, cool pink. It has this like champagne shimmer, like almost looks gold. I don't find that it pulls gold or warm on the cheeks, which I really like. It's a pretty like just standard type of blush formula where it's just really smooth and silky, nicely pigmented, a little bit of like a brighter pop of pink if that's what you're going for, but it still has that nice level of pigmentation where it's like buildable. You're not gonna get a ton of pigment at first and you can really blend it out. Honestly, the shimmer, like especially when you rub it in or like if you were to use a brush, the shimmer isn't totally evident in it. It's one that just like adds a little bit of glow without being super noticeable on the face. So if you want something like natural and low key, this is a pretty one from Jones Road. Hopping back to another drugstore option is the Moira Signature Ombre blush. I did a full like drugstore, I tried every drugstore blush video, powder blush, and spoiler alert, if you want to watch that, don't watch this part, but this was the winner of that championship basically where I tested all of them. This is a matte ombre blush from Moira. It's so gorgeous. The shade Soft Berry, you get this like pale color up here, you get this purple, so if you have more fair skin, I would stay in this like upper portion. But you can also dip into this berry, and this formula is like very, very pigmented, like not even just for drugstore, just in general. It's just really fun to sort of like customize your shade. It's a powder formula, but it's like so creamy that it like really grips on the skin, if you know what I'm saying. We have that light, medium, and deep shade. So then you could mix these up and it's just like the quality for the price point. It's just like an insane formula. And then another very unique option, this is from Flower Nose. They're blush duos. Seriously, check out these duos if you have pale skin and you love cool tones. They have a bunch of like really unique combos. This one has a pale purple and a pale pink blush that are absolutely gorgeous silky matte formulas. So this is sort of meant to be like the brightener shade, and then this one you can do on the back of the cheeks. I have this one on today, so I do this purple just sort of right in this area, and then like I mentioned, that pink just more in like the original blush area. These do have a very slight like clean scent to them. I don't notice it on the face too much and it dissipates, so it doesn't bother me, and I am very sensitive to fragrance, but just beware that it does have a little bit of scent to it. But have you ever seen like a beautiful lavender blush like this? It's so gorgeous and it's just so flattering. I love this one. And the packaging, of course, like stunning. And I'll have all of these linked below with shade names and everything you need to know if you want to shop any of them, along with discount codes if I have any. Okay, last but not least, for our powder blush category, the Clinique Cheek Pop Blush in Pansy Pop. I always wanted to try this formula and I finally got this from Ulta, and it's such a pretty purple blush that's very wearable because it's kind of muted and it's just like a nice, more sheer, glowy formula. You can barely see it on my hand. See if I could build it up for you. Like, it just is so buildable and gives you like a really pretty glow. These have like a really gorgeous smoothing, like just glowy effect to them without being shimmery. Like, they just look really healthy is how I would describe this blush, and it looks very purple, but honestly on the cheeks it's so pretty. So I wear this one all the time and it's definitely one that's worth the hype. All right, let's get started with cream blushes. I want to talk about just a really good all-around pink shade. It looks so beautiful and natural on the skin. I also really love the formula from Ritual de Fille. This is their Bee Sting Color Nectar Pigment Balms. They have a lot of really unique shades of this, and this pink isn't something that like, I don't know, wouldn't like stand out to me, but on the cheeks it looks so pretty and like supple and glowy. And I really like this about the Ritual de Fille creams is that they're not super dewy, so I feel like this just lasts so well on the skin. Blended out, it really just matches like a natural flush so well, and it has such a nice sheerness. I'm really not a huge fan of super pigmented blushes. They just don't work for my skin most of the time. So if you like that more like natural look, like it's just so much easier to work with a more balanced pigment product than something that's chock full of pigment like a lot of liquid blushes. So this is a really beautiful one from Ritual de Fille. A great, really affordable option is from E.L.F. the Monochromatic Multi-Stick in the shade Dazzling Peony. This is such a pretty stick cream blush. I believe this is like $3. It's definitely not like a super cool tone color. It's more of just this like mid-tone pink, and the formula on this is like a silky matte, and it does have a little bit of shimmer to it. This almost feels like, I don't know how to describe these matte formulas. Silky, it's like a matte cream, you know what I'm saying? So it just pulls really nicely. It doesn't pull too warm. If you wanted something that's sort of just like in the middle, neutral pink with shimmer that makes your cheeks look really smooth and glowy at a very affordable price point, these are really nice. I've only tried this shade, but this one I think is just my favorite. It's like I don't feel like I need to try another shade because this one is, it just nails it. Along those same lines of like a mid-tone pink that's not necessarily super cool tone but still really pretty, the Rose Ink Lip and Cheek Color in Azalea is such a pretty formula. These creams are very like thick in a good way and have quite a lot of pigment, so I would say just go very light-handed with this, and it just gives you that like red kind of flush, but it doesn't pull like too orange. Like it's just one of those like nice like brick pinks, you know what I'm saying? It's just really nice and creamy, and these have really great lasting power and longevity because they have that pigment and it really just sticks onto your skin in a nice way. So from Rose Ink, these are, the shade of the blush is definitely my favorite. Moving back into something, if you're like really into cool tones, the Smashbox Hot Sticks. These are their new cream blushes in the shade Ultraviolet. This is literally like a straight up mid-tone purple, and it's just like, if you want purple, this is your girl. But it's not too pigmented. It's really blendable. It's really blendable and beautiful in that way because it gives you like a diffused look. If you've been wanting to try purple blush, maybe this isn't the good intro because it's so purple, but if you already know you love cool tones and purple shades, this one's the go-to. Another great, more purpley cream blush, well, this is actually a liquid one, another one from Moira. This is their 06 Ideally Liquid Love Steady Liquid Blush. I think this is the matte version of their blush. They sort of have like a matte and a dewy one, just like the Rare Beauty ones. It's actually kind of similar to the purple blush from Smashbox. Again, one that is like customizable. It's pigmented, so just go easy with it, but in terms of like those kinds of pigmented liquid blushes, it's very workable, and it just gives you that pretty cool toned pink like cotton candy color. Next we have Persona Cosmetics. I really like their powder blushes as well. I love Bubble. The cream blushes are nice as well, and I really like this shade, which is called Caramel, right? Yeah, it's their blush multi-stick. I just really like these creams, and this one's a really pretty rosy pink. These are quite pigmented, but once again they do blend out really nicely, and it kind of just gives you like that, it almost pulls like you're wearing a warmer blush, but not too warm, not too orange, just that prettier like slightly warmer pink if that's more of your vibe. And then the Iris and Romeo cream blushes, I love these. They're so beautiful. They're glowy, they're emollient, they smell good, but like in a natural way, not in like a scented kind of way. And this is the shade Rosy Glow. These are called their Ceramide Multi Balms. I don't know if I mentioned that. This shade Rosy Glow, these are so pretty. They're just like really supple and blendable, very dewy looking on the skin. Out of all of these like creams, this one's definitely like the dewiest. And then I also have English Rose. I don't like English Rose quite as much. It's a little bit more of like a muted reddish pink. If you want more of like a pink, then the first shade is the one to go for. But they just have like this glow to them. It's so gorgeous. Like on the cheeks, they look so healthy and give you that like, it's just juicy, you know? And then I also want to mention the new Merit Blush Balm shades. They came out with these new like brighter versions, and I really like them. First is Le Bonbon, which is this brighter pink. But if you are familiar with this formula, you know that they blend out really well, have this really nice lightness. This is a very cool toned, brighter pink. So if you're looking for something that's like brighter, but still a nice tone and formula, then that shade's a great one. But they also have this really gorgeous bespoke shade, which is like a muted brownie mauve. If you're not into the purples or pinks, you want something that just looks like, it's kind of just like, it's a very like romantic, just beautiful, mature, like, I don't know, it just exudes like grace, you know? It's that kind of shade. And last but not least, had to give a mention to the Pixie On The Go blushes because they're very affordable. The Tinted Moisture Sticks, the red one is actually just like surprisingly so nice for pale skin, olive skin. Like, it just, red, when you blend it out, kind of will just mimic like a natural flush. This one is quite pink based, like it's not warm at all. And if you haven't tried these formulas, they're quite sheer if you use a little bit of them, and very balmy, so you can blend them out nicely and they give you that like supple glow. I think this is just such a great, more affordable option to like a lot of cream blushes out there. And this shade name is Ruby, by the way. I do also like the pink one, but I feel like this one just pulls a little bit like more cool toned almost. All right, that was quite the video, but I hope you found my recommendations helpful and maybe found some new blushes to try out. Let me know if I included any of your favorites or any that piqued your interest. Also want to mention I have a giveaway that I posted on my post tab. If you're subscribed, they will pop up automatically. You can still enter to win that giveaway. It's ending soon, but I'll go ahead and link in the description to the post if you want to enter it. Tons of goodies in there if you want to enter. I wanted to make sure to mention it here as well. But thank you for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and put another one of my ultimate guides on the screen here. I have a lot of them and they took a while to make, but I hope you find them helpful. So I want to make sure that you see the other ones as well. So I'll put them there and I'll see you over there. Bye.